In a week marked by high-stakes legal threats and surprising business pivots, Elon Musk has once again seized the tech world's attention, this time by declaring his artificial intelligence firm xAI will take immediate legal action against Apple. The billionaire entrepreneur alleges that Apple's App Store is engaging in anti-competitive practices, specifically by refusing to prominently feature xAI's Grok chatbot and his social media platform X in its curated lists, while seemingly favoring rival OpenAI's ChatGPT. Musk took to his platform X on Monday, August 11, to express his frustration, stating, "Apple is behaving in a manner that makes it impossible for any AI company besides OpenAI to reach one in the App Store, which is an unequivocal antitrust violation." He further questioned Apple's editorial control, asking, "Hey, at Apple, App Store, why do you refuse to put either or Grok in your must-have section when is the one news app in the world and Grok is 5 among all apps?" He pointedly inquired if Apple's ranking system was being used for playing politics, highlighting ChatGPT's ubiquitous presence in Apple's editorially controlled lists. This accusation comes after Apple's 2024 collaboration with OpenAI, which integrates OpenAI's technology into Apple's branded Apple Intelligence feature, enhancing Siri's capabilities. While Apple's website describes its App Store as highly curated by experts and an editorial team alongside automated tools for discovery and ranking, Musk's claims suggest a deeper, more preferential bias. Apple has yet to respond publicly to Musk's allegations. This new legal skirmish is not an isolated incident for Musk. It echoes his ongoing litigation against OpenAI, a company he co-founded in 2015 with current CEO Sam Altman. Musk's lawsuit, scheduled for trial in March, stems from his departure from OpenAI over disagreements about its direction, particularly its conversion to a for-profit enterprise. He asserts his initial $45 million donation was contingent on the organization remaining a non-profit, a claim Altman disputes, contending Musk sought to merge OpenAI into Tesla. These serial legal battles underscore Musk's consistent challenge to what he perceives as monopolistic or unfair practices within the tech industry, particularly when they involve his direct competitors or former ventures. The outcome of xAI's threatened lawsuit could significantly impact App Store policies and the competitive landscape for AI applications, potentially forcing greater transparency or even regulatory intervention in app ranking methodologies. Meanwhile, in a separate development that highlights the varied and sometimes turbulent nature of Musk's ventures, Tesla's much-hyped foray into the restaurant business has hit an early snag. Less than 3 weeks after its grand opening on July 11, 2025 in Hollywood, California, the Tesla Diner and Drive-In has drastically scaled back its operations. Reports, including one from Eater on August 5, indicate a significant reduction in menu options, with only 5 sandwiches remaining, mirroring the number of vehicles the company sells. Several previously available items, such as the Market's Salad Club sandwich biscuits and red gravy hash brown bites and the popular Epic Bacon Maple Glazed breakfast meat, have been removed. Even all-day breakfast items are now restricted to morning hours, and some fountain drink options have been cut. The number of sides has been reduced to 2, along with 2 pie flavors, all still orderable from Tesla's in-car infotainment system. This rapid operational contraction suggests potential challenges in managing new non-core business lines, or perhaps a miscalculation in demand or operational complexity for a venture initially envisioned as a key step in creating an all-encompassing brand for the EV maker. As Elon Musk navigates these diverse challenges, from battling tech giants over alleged antitrust violations to streamlining the menu at his newly opened diner, his multifaceted empire remains under intense scrutiny. The legal confrontation with Apple could redefine boundaries of platform control and competition in the burgeoning AI sector, while the immediate operational adjustments at the Tesla Diner serve as a stark reminder of the complexities inherent in diversifying beyond core competencies. The coming months will undoubtedly reveal how these high-profile disputes and business adjustments shape the future trajectories of Apple xAI. and the ever-evolving Tesla brand under its enigmatic leader. A significant federal appeals court ruling this week has granted the controversial Department of Government Efficiency DOGE sweeping access to sensitive personal data held by various government agencies, reigniting debates over privacy, executive power, and bureaucratic oversight. The decision, handed down by a three-judge panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit, marks a pivotal moment for an initiative that has faced persistent legal challenges and public scrutiny since its inception under the Trump administration. By a 2-1 vote, the appeals court overturned a lower court's February injunction clearing the path for DOGE teams to access data stored at the Treasury Department, the Education Department, and the Office of Personnel Management. This ruling follows a precedent set by the Supreme Court in June, which granted DOGE analysts broad access to data at the Social Security Administration in a similar case. Judge Julius N. Richardson, writing for the majority, affirmed that the circumstances mirrored the earlier Supreme Court intervention, which had allowed DOGE analysts to continue sifting through records in order for those members to do their work. The Justice Department has consistently argued that these teams, initially put in place by Elon Musk earlier this year and directed by President Trump, are tasked with scrutinizing federal data to identify wasted taxpayer dollars, redundant contracts, or fraud. The breadth of data now accessible includes sensitive financial information, addresses, employer details, and related statistics that could be used to identify individuals. The Education Department alone collects personal financial data on over 40 million borrowers, making the scope of this access considerable. While the government had offered concessions in previous lawsuits, such as security trainings, background checks, or limiting access to anonymized data, the Supreme Court and appellate judges have increasingly sided with the administration, allowing DOGE largely unfettered access. However, the ruling was not unanimous. Judge Robert B. King, in a dissenting opinion, echoed concerns raised by federal labor unions, highlighting the lack of public information about DOGE's operations and its unrestrained approach in seizing sensitive data. He criticized the majority's suggestion that the lower court's cautious reaction to DOGE's rapid-fire demands was an overreach, noting that the district court had been confronted with an urgent matter concerning sudden, unfettered, unprecedented, and apparently unnecessary access to highly sensitive personal information belonging to millions of Americans. Even after Elon Musk stepped down from his leadership role at DOGE in May, the unit has continued to operate largely out of public view, leading critics to describe its mission as an effort to hasten the downsizing of federal agencies and a reduction of government services. This federal push for efficiency is mirrored at the state level, particularly in Florida, where a similar Department of Government Efficiency, also referred to as DOGE, is actively auditing local governments. Florida's CFO Blaise Ingaglia, who oversees the state's DOGE, recently delivered a chilling message to municipalities, emphasizing that the initiative is a long-term thing and not a fleeting effort. Modeled after the federal drive to reduce spending, the Florida DOGE team has been conducting on-site reviews of local finances across the state, including visits to Manatee County, Pinellas County, Broward County, and Gainesville, with St. Petersburg next on the schedule. CFO Ingaglia asserts that the state's audits are already uncovering pretty egregious examples of waste, fraud, and abuse. He believes that if taxpayers fully understood how local governments spend their money, they would have an issue with it. While Manatee County commissioners have embraced the effort, even volunteering for an audit and forming a local government efficiency liaison committee to involve community members, other local officials express reservations. Pinellas County Commissioner Brian Scott, for instance, raised concerns that the state DOGE might not adequately consider unfunded state mandates, incremental spending increases, or grants when scrutinizing county budgets. Ingaglia acknowledged the validity of such points but maintained that the DOGE team's purpose is to question spending and ensure transparency. The CFO also revealed plans for an anonymous tip line to report wasteful spending and warned local government employees against attempting to obscure information, such as by changing keywords like diversity, equity, and inclusion, stating that the state has subpoena power at its disposal. The state-level efforts in Florida are closely tied to broader political goals, with Ingaglia and Governor Ron DeSantis both agreeing on the elimination of property taxes on primary residences statewide. While DeSantis recently vetoed funding for a study on this, a ballot initiative for November 2026 is being considered. Both federal and state DOGE initiatives underscore a growing trend of governmental bodies seeking to enhance efficiency and reduce perceived waste, often through aggressive data access and auditing measures. However, these efforts inevitably clash with concerns over individual privacy, local autonomy, and the potential for political motivations to influence what constitutes waste or efficiency. As both federal and state DOGE operations continue to unfold, the tension between transparency, accountability, and the protection of sensitive information will remain a central point of contention. Shaping the future landscape of government oversight and public trust, the electric vehicle market is experiencing a whirlwind of strategic maneuvers and shifting consumer dynamics, with Tesla at the epicenter of many recent developments. A confluence of aggressive price cuts across the industry and the looming expiration of federal tax credits spurred a significant surge in U.S. EV sales in July, setting the stage for what analysts predict could be a record-breaking third quarter. According to initial estimates from Cox Automotive's Kelley Blue Book, July saw robust EV sales exceeding 130,000 units, marking a substantial 20% increase from a year ago and potentially ranking as the second-best month ever for EV sales in the U.S. This impressive performance wasn't solely driven by buyers rushing to secure incentives before they vanish. Price adjustments played an equally, if not more, critical role. KBB reported that the average transaction price ATP for new EVs in July stood at $55,689, a 2.2% decline from June and a 4.2% drop year-over-year. Leading this charge, Tesla, the dominant EV seller in the U.S., saw its July ATP fall to $52,949, down 2.4% from June and a notable 9.1% lower compared to the previous year. This was further amplified by record-high incentive packages across the EV industry, hitting 17.5% of ATP in July, an increase of over 40% from last year, according to KBB. Stephanie Valdez-Streety, a senior analyst at Cox Automotive, articulated the market sentiment, stating the urgency created by the administration's decision to sunset government-backed IRA-era EV incentives was expected to create serious demand for EVs in the short term. At this pace, Q3 will be the best ever and then some, as buyers jump in before the big incentives dry up. Despite the broad trend of price reductions, Tesla appears to be regaining some pricing leverage for popular models. Wait times for the Model Y in the U.S. have extended to 4 to 6 weeks, up from 1 to 3 weeks earlier in the summer, and the company even raised lease prices for the Model Y by 14%. However, CEO Elon Musk has cautioned about a few rough quarters following the end of the tax credit era, and the much-anticipated cheaper EV is now confirmed to be a stripped-down version of the Model Y rather than a completely new, more affordable model like the previously rumored Model Q. Beyond conventional vehicle sales, Tesla's ambitious push into autonomous driving and robotaxis continues to be a focal point, albeit one fraught with regulatory complexities. The company is actively recruiting test drivers for automated driving systems in New York City, specifically in Queens, to gather critical data for testing and training. Yet this initiative faces a significant hurdle. The New York City Department of Transportation confirmed that Tesla has not applied for the necessary permits to test autonomous vehicles on city streets, a stark contrast to competitors like Alphabet's Waymo, whose application remains under review. Tesla did secure a permit to operate a ride-hailing business in Texas, where state regulations do not mandate a human safety driver on board. Despite this, the company has been operating a fleet of robotaxis in Austin since late June, with employees present in the front passenger seat for manual intervention, with plans to open the service to the general public next month. A similar limited man service is also operating in San Francisco, promoted by Tesla as autonomous ride-hailing, even as the California Public Utilities Commission clarifies that the company is not authorized to carry passengers on public roads in autonomous vehicles in the state. These aggressive moves into self-driving technology come amidst ongoing federal probes, product liability lawsuits, and recalls stemming from incidents involving Tesla's autopilot and full self-driving FSD systems. The California DMV has even sued Tesla alleging false advertising regarding its driver assistance features, highlighting a persistent tension between the company's marketing claims of cars that can drive themselves and the owner manual's instruction for drivers to remain hands-on and ready to take control. This broader push into AI and robotics, while central to Musk's long-term vision, currently stands in contrast to the company's primary revenue generation from EV and battery sales, particularly as a recent focus on the Cybertruck and political controversies have reportedly impacted Tesla's sales in Europe. As the EV market matures, the interplay between pricing strategies, government incentives, and the rollout of advanced autonomous technologies will define the competitive landscape. Tesla, with its dual focus on volume sales and futuristic mobility solutions, will undoubtedly continue to be a dominant force, but its journey will be shaped by how it navigates both market demand and the intricate web of regulatory challenges that accompany its groundbreaking innovations. The coming quarters will be crucial in determining the balance between aggressive market expansion and the responsible deployment of cutting-edge yet still evolving technology. The commercial space industry is currently experiencing a period of unprecedented dynamism marked by ambitious launch schedules, groundbreaking missions, and intense competition for the future of global connectivity. As of this week, the spotlight remains firmly on key players like SpaceX, which is navigating a flurry of activity from its California launch site even as a fresh contender emerges to challenge its dominance in the satellite communications arena. Californians are bracing for a potentially rare spectacle as SpaceX, the commercial spaceflight giant founded by Elon Musk, prepares for an unusual series of nearly back-to-back rocket launches from Vandenberg Space Force Base. Following a pair of postponements, a Starlink satellite deployment mission originally slated for August 9 was rescheduled to Tuesday, August 12, with a launch window from 7:05 p.m. to 11:05 p.m. Pacific Time. This mission, utilizing the company's workhorse 230-foot Falcon 9 rocket, aims to deliver 24 Starlink Internet satellites into low Earth orbit. Adding to the excitement, a Federal Aviation Administration advisory suggests a second Starlink mission is also planned for Wednesday, August 13, with a morning launch window opening at 8:44 a.m. Pacific Time. Should both launches proceed as scheduled, spectators across California and even parts of Arizona could witness a nighttime liftoff followed closely by a morning one, a testament to SpaceX's relentless operational tempo. Residents in Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo, and Ventura counties have also been advised to anticipate potential sonic booms, a familiar byproduct of the Falcon 9's booster returning for a landing on a drone ship in the Pacific, enabling its crucial reusability. These launches underscore Starlink's rapid expansion, with the constellation now comprising nearly 8,000 satellites designed to offer low-latency internet service from low Earth orbit, a significant departure from traditional geostationary satellite providers and a key component of Musk's vision for global connectivity. Beyond its high-cadence Starlink deployments, SpaceX continues to be a cornerstone of human spaceflight. This past week saw the successful splashdown of NASA and SpaceX's Crew 10 astronauts off the coast of California, marking the conclusion of their nearly 5-month mission aboard the International Space Station ISS. NASA astronaut and McLean commanded the mission, joined by pilot Nicole Ayres, Roscosmos Kirill Peskov, and JAXA's Takuya Onishi. Launched on a Falcon 9 rocket in March, the crew conducted dozens of experiments, including testing material flammability for future spacecraft hardware for in-space pharmaceutical production and backup lunar navigation systems for the Artemis moon missions. Their return facilitated the long-awaited departure of Boeing Starliner crew members Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, who had spent an extended period on the orbital laboratory due to technical issues with their spacecraft. Interim NASA Administrator Sean Duffy emphasized the broader impact of these missions, stating, "Our crew missions are the building blocks for long-duration human exploration, pushing the boundaries of what's possible." Indeed, the Commercial Crew Program, initiated by NASA in 2014 with multi-billion-dollar contracts to both SpaceX and Boeing, was designed to ensure redundant access to space. While SpaceX's Dragon and Falcon 9 have consistently met the challenge, Boeing's Starliner program has been plagued by years of delays and over $2 billion in losses. The Starliner's inaugural crew flight test in June 2024 encountered multiple post-launch issues, including helium leaks and degraded thrusters, prompting NASA to bring the Starliner crew home at the conclusion of Crew 10, with the spacecraft returning autonomously. These ongoing problems have cast a shadow over Starliner's certification for operational missions, pushing its first crewed flight, Starliner 1, from an initial 2025 target to late 2026. And potentially even becoming a cargo-only mission. The setbacks for Boeing mean NASA will continue its reliance on SpaceX for crew transport to the ISS in the foreseeable future, highlighting SpaceX's current preeminence in the human spaceflight sector. However, the competitive landscape in satellite communications is far from static. While SpaceX's Starlink has rapidly carved out a dominant position, new players with innovative approaches are gaining significant investor confidence. One such contender is AST SpaceMobile, whose stock soared after its recent earnings report, signaling growing market optimism in its unique direct-to-cell connectivity solution. Unlike Starlink, which requires proprietary user terminals, AST SpaceMobile aims to enable regular mobile phones to connect directly to satellites, potentially offering a disruptive alternative for global cellular coverage. This approach represents a direct challenge to the broader satellite internet market, including Starlink. By bypassing the need for dedicated ground equipment and potentially integrating seamlessly with existing mobile networks. The market's reaction suggests that the race to connect the unconnected and provide ubiquitous high-speed internet from space is intensifying, moving beyond traditional satellite internet to a more integrated direct-to-device future. As the commercial space industry matures, the intertwined narratives of rapid deployment, human exploration, and fierce competition will continue to unfold. SpaceX's relentless launch cadence and its pivotal role in NASA's human spaceflight endeavors underscore its current leadership, yet the struggles of competitors like Boeing highlight the immense technical and financial hurdles involved. Simultaneously, the rise of companies like AST SpaceMobile with their distinct technological propositions signals a diversifying market where innovation is constantly redefining the boundaries of what's possible. The coming years promise further advancements, strategic partnerships, and potentially new paradigms for how humanity connects and explores beyond Earth. Driven by both established giants and agile new entrants, the digital arena is once again ablaze with the fiery rhetoric of Elon Musk as the tech mogul escalates his multi-front war against industry giants Apple and OpenAI. On Tuesday, August 12, 2025, Musk publicly threatened legal action against Apple, accusing the Cupertino-based company of antitrust violations by allegedly stifling the visibility of his platform's X and the Grok AI chatbot within the App Store. This latest broadside not only adds to Apple's growing list of antitrust challenges but also reignites a deeply personal feud between Musk and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. Musk's ire was primarily directed at Apple's App Store ranking system, which he claims unfairly favors OpenAI's offerings. Taking to X, formerly Twitter, late Monday, Musk directly challenged Apple. "Hey, at Apple App Store, why do you refuse to put either or Grok in your must-have section when is the one news app in the world and Grok is 5 among all apps? Are you playing politics? What gives? Inquiring minds want to know." He further elaborated, stating Apple is behaving in a manner that makes it impossible for any AI company besides OpenAI to reach one in the App Store, which is an unequivocal antitrust violation. xAI will take immediate legal action. While Musk asserts Grok's fifth-place standing among all apps and X's top spot in news, the current App Store landscape shows TikTok leading overall, with OpenAI's ChatGPT notably ranked as the #1 free app, though its overall position is 7th. This distinction between overall ranking and free app category leadership appears to be a core point of contention for Musk, who views ChatGPT's prominence as a direct impediment to his own AI ventures. This is not the first time Apple has found itself in the crosshairs of antitrust allegations. The tech behemoth has been under intense scrutiny globally for its App Store practices. A federal judge recently ruled that Apple violated a court injunction in an antitrust case brought by Epic Games, the maker of Fortnite. Furthermore, the European Union fined Apple €500 million in April for breaking competition rules by preventing app developers from directing users to cheaper purchasing options outside its App Store. Last year, the EU also levied a nearly $2 billion fine for unfairly favoring its own music streaming service, prohibiting rivals like Spotify from informing users about more affordable subscription methods beyond iPhone apps. Musk's current threat therefore lands amidst an already fraught regulatory environment for Apple, potentially adding another high-profile legal battle to its docket. The dispute quickly spilled over into a direct acrimonious exchange between Musk and Sam Altman. Responding to Musk's initial accusation against Apple, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman posted on X calling Musk's claim remarkable. Altman wrote, "This is a remarkable claim given what I have heard alleged that Elon does to manipulate X to benefit himself and his own companies and harm his competitors and people he doesn't like." Musk, never one to back down from a public spat, retorted sharply, "You got 3M views on your bullshit post, you liar, far more than I've received on many of mine despite me having 50 times your follower count." This online spat underscores the deep-seated animosity between the two tech titans. A rivalry that traces back to Musk's co-founding of OpenAI in 2015 before his departure from its board in 2018. Musk is currently suing OpenAI and Altman, alleging they have strayed from their original non-profit mission to develop AI for the benefit of all. His unsuccessful $97.4 billion bid to gain control of OpenAI in February 2025 further intensified the bad blood, leading to a continuous public exchange of criticisms regarding each other's strategies and motives. The escalating tensions are a clear symptom of the hyper-competitive landscape within the burgeoning artificial intelligence sector. As generative AI models like OpenAI's ChatGPT and xAI's Grok rapidly evolve, the battle for market dominance extends beyond technological superiority to critical distribution channels, most notably app stores. Apple's walled garden approach to its App Store, while providing a curated user experience, has consistently drawn fire for its perceived anti-competitive practices, effectively making it a gatekeeper to a massive user base. Musk, a vocal advocate for OpenAI development, views this gatekeeping when applied to AI as a fundamental impediment to fair competition. The implications of this dispute are far-reaching. A potential lawsuit could force greater transparency in App Store algorithms and policies, while the public mudslinging between two of the industry's most influential figures could shape public perception of AI development and market fairness. As the dust settles from this latest volley of accusations, the tech world watches closely. Apple has yet to comment on Musk's legal threats, maintaining its characteristic silence amidst such controversies. However, the confluence of ongoing antitrust probes and Musk's aggressive stance signals a period of intensified scrutiny for the App Store model. The personal animosity between Musk and Altman, played out on a global stage, further highlights the high stakes in the race for AI supremacy. Whether these threats materialize into concrete legal battles or remain powerful rhetorical tools, one thing is certain: the future of AI and the platforms that distribute it will continue to be shaped by the fierce rivalries and strategic maneuvers of its most prominent players. In a remarkable testament to the accelerating pace of neurotechnology, a Mississippi man, R.J. Tanner, has dramatically reclaimed his independence, offering a poignant glimpse into a future where thought alone can bridge the gap between human intention and digital command. Paralyzed from the neck down 4 years ago after a devastating motorcycle crash, Tanner, a military veteran and former human trafficking rescuer, found himself utterly dependent on others for every basic need. That changed profoundly this April when he became one of the first individuals in the world to receive a Neuralink brain-computer interface (BCI). Tanner's journey from despair to renewed autonomy is nothing short of inspiring. Doctors had told him he would be on a ventilator for life, dismissing his desire for independence as unrealistic expectations. Yet after learning about Nolan Arbaugh, the first person to receive the Neuralink implant in 2024, Tanner pursued the opportunity relentlessly. The device, developed by Elon Musk's neurotechnology firm, translates brain activity into digital commands. For Tanner, this meant rapidly gaining the ability to operate a computer phone and TV with his thoughts connected wirelessly via a USB receiver. "I went from not being able to do anything to moving the cursor on the computer within minutes," Tanner recounted. Emphasizing the profound impact, "It absolutely gave me my sense of independence and freedom back." He now navigates the digital world, sends messages, browses the web, and even plays complex video games like Call of Duty by simply imagining specific finger movements for aiming and shooting or toe squeezes for reloading. The ability to perform seemingly small tasks like turning on the TV or typing messages without voice commands has restored a dignity previously lost. Even Elon Musk himself reportedly visited Tanner post-surgery in Miami, expressing gratitude for his participation in the trial. Tanner's renewed lease on life is driving him to pursue new ventures, including a certification in medical cannabis cultivation and cybersecurity courses, embodying his resolve to re-up and reinvent, recreate myself. This personal triumph underscores a burgeoning global race in brain-computer interface technology, with advancements rapidly emerging from various corners of the world. Beyond Neuralink's pioneering invasive implants, Chinese researchers are making significant strides with their own BCI systems. The Chinese Institute for Brain Research (CIBR) in Beijing, along with its affiliated startup NewCyber Neurotech, has developed a semi-invasive BCI system called Beinow No. 1. This system, described by some media as the world's first batch of semi-invasive wireless BCIs implanted in the human brain, has already completed its first batch of 5 human implants this year. A representative from NewCyber Neurotech highlighted its success in helping patients with severe conditions like amyotrophic lateral sclerosis (ALS) regain communication abilities by decoding brain signals into Chinese characters, a complex linguistic feat. With the help of the BCI system, the patient can produce over 60 commonly used Chinese words and phrases through post-surgery training, gradually restoring their communication abilities in Chinese, stated Li Yuan, business development director at the company. Beinow 1 has also enabled paralyzed patients to control computers and robotic arms with their minds. While Neuralink's approach involves directly inserting electrodes into brain tissue for maximum precision, the semi-invasive Beinow 1 places electrodes on the dura mater, balancing signal quality with reduced surgical risk, making it a distinct and promising alternative in the BCI landscape. China's commitment to this field is further evidenced by robust policy support aimed at establishing the country as a global leader in BCI research and industrial development by 2030, with breakthroughs already noted in areas like disease diagnosis, motor rehabilitation, and neuromodulation therapies. Meanwhile, Neuralink itself is reportedly expanding its human trials, with plans to test implants in the UK, signaling a broader international push for the technology. However, the rapid acceleration of BCI technology also brings crucial discussions about its limitations, ethical implications, and potential market disruption. As Li Yuan from NewCyber Neurotech cautioned, brain science research is still in its early stages. There is no way to collect signals and decode them for complex functions like memory and emotion. She emphasized that BCI is not a panacea and its application should not be overstated, pointing out that restoring normal vision, for instance, remains a distant goal. Yet even with these caveats, the disruptive potential of BCI is not lost on industry titans. Elon Musk, a central figure in the BCI narrative through Neuralink, is also actively shaping the broader AI ecosystem through his company xAI. He has recently launched a scathing critique against Apple, alleging unequivocal antitrust violation in its App Store policies, claiming the tech giant monopolizes app rankings to favor OpenAI. This accusation intertwines BCI with the larger battle for AI dominance, suggesting a future where direct neural integration, as envisioned by Neuralink's forthcoming blindside implant set for human trials in late 2025, could fundamentally challenge Apple's hardware-centric business model. If BCI gains widespread adoption, it could pose an existential risk to the trillion-dollar market caps of established tech giants, shifting consumer preference from physical devices to direct neural interfaces. Regulators are already scrutinizing Apple's App Store, with the EU having fined the company €1.8 billion for stifling competition and the US Department of Justice pursuing similar antitrust cases against other tech behemoths. The outcome of these regulatory battles, coupled with the pace of BCI innovation, will profoundly influence the competitive landscape and investment strategies in the tech sector. As BCI technology matures, the coming years will undoubtedly witness a fascinating interplay between medical breakthroughs, fierce global competition, and evolving regulatory frameworks. The transformative power demonstrated by individuals like R.J. Tanner paints a vivid picture of a future where disabilities are overcome and human capabilities are augmented. Yet the path forward will require careful navigation of complex ethical considerations, realistic expectations for the technology's capabilities, and a vigilant eye on the market dynamics as tech giants and nimble startups vie for dominance in this nascent but profoundly impactful frontier of human-computer interaction.